Well, we see a great rebound as been expected. I mean, since we had the meeting with the hawkish statements from Jerome Powell, the market participants went really short, heavily short. And it was pretty clear that a rebound had to come. And so it started already yesterday. It was also to do with the inflation data came in today, the PCI came in, the same in Europe. And so for this reason, we check the overall market before we look into the Bitcoin. And this is today, and as I just said, it's all mainly green. Important is the yield rates. They really went down in the last 48 hours. It's 5% on 2 years. It's 4.5% on 10 years. And that's a very good sign. Very important now is the expectations for the next meeting regarding rate hikes, November 1st. And this is very nice. 85% of the market believes we don't see an increase. In the moment, we are on about 5.25 to 5.5. Quick check on the last meeting for the year in December, and here's the same picture. 67% of the market participants believe we don't see any increase. Now, this is important. That means probably we reached peak of rates. That would be great for the stock market, and I believe also for the Bitcoin. Well, and here we come to the Bitcoin. In the moment, 26,729. We had a nice recovery. This is on a daily base. Every candle is a day. And this reflects the overall situation on the market as we just saw. You come to the market capitalization, gold on 1, and Bitcoin now on 12 again. A week ago we were on 13, market capitalization $524 billion. Quite strong and very promising. Well, then here we come to the halving clock. It's another 200 days we have to wait. It's the same situation. April 17, the halving should take place. Very important. As you know, the reward for the miners will be cut by 50%. And so everybody is actually waiting for this day. And it's going to be 6 months from now. Supply will go out afterwards down. And this usually was the start for a new bull run. And here we come to the topic. SEC delays spot BTF, ETF. Decision for BlackRock, Invesco, and Bitwise. And the same for Valkyrie. Well, they play on time. It's very clear that Gary Gensler doesn't want to hurry up with a decision. I don't think that we see a decision this year in 23. For me, the deadline they have to make a decision is going to be March 24, just before the halving. That's very interesting. And me personally, I believe that we see approval for all the applications, which is meanwhile 20 applications for ETF spot Bitcoin, quite a lot. All the big companies are in there, wealth management companies. And so I believe it's going to take place in March. So this was, in the end, not bad for the Bitcoin. I mean, it didn't start very nice on Monday, Tuesday. People were very nervous because of the rate hike expectations and the hawkish sound from the Fed. But to the end of the week, like today, because obviously it's Friday, we see a rebound on the overall market. We saw last night in China on the Hong Kong exchange, 3% increase. So that's quite good. There's one thing we have to bear in mind. In the upcoming week, Chinese go on holiday. They usually go not for 1 day on holiday, they go for a week on holiday. So the Chinese market will be dead next week. But anyway, for Bitcoin, it looks like that we could stabilize around about $27,000. Bear in mind, we were fighting with a $25,000 just about 10 days ago. That's quite an increase. And for this reason, I think we check the technical data. Okay, the first thing is we check Bitcoin in relation to the money supply, something we have established recently. And as you can see, the money supply, which is the red line in US dollar, the M1, is going sideways, like the Bitcoin is going sideways. And there's not much happening in the moment. Interesting is gold. Gold is performing in relation better than the Bitcoin. So there's just some headroom here for the Bitcoin to catch up. And Nasdaq, the most important correlation with Bitcoin, as you can see on history, all these graphs start on May 20 with the last halving. You can see that the blue line, which is the Nasdaq, and the green line, the Bitcoin, they very much go along. But since about, I would say, 6 months, well, the whole year in 23 more or less, in relation, the Nasdaq performed better than the Bitcoin. So here's also a lot of headroom to catch up. Fear and greed, it's about 48%, so very much in the middle. That's good. The heat map today, mainly green, not only Bitcoin. Market dominance, around about 50%, still Bitcoin, very strong. Interesting is the liquidations. So the increase from 26 to 27 in the last couple of days came mainly from liquidations on the short side. People have been stopped out. Okay, on the number of addresses related to the on exchanges, there is no change. We have this downtrend that 75% of the Bitcoin stay on exchanges and do not move. So only 25% of the total supply is available. This is actually still very bullish. Hash rate is still going up consistently. And as you can see on history, price will always catch up with history, with the hash rate. And here we have to wait. Obviously, this will come. Our Bitcoin real value model, also something new, says the Bitcoin price should be around about $48,000 now. As we know, it's only $27,000. Just the electricity cost in the moment is $21,000, plus the production cost, we end up with $35,000. So in history, as you can see, this was a very strong indicator. And also, we are right in between production cost and electricity cost, and the start of the next bull run, we will see definitely here an increase over the real value price. Bitcoin Google Trends, there's not much happening. It's still very flat. Volume still very low. We are basically on the situation from 2019. And well, here we come to a trend following indicator on the short term. As you can see, this is for 3 months. We are in a very narrow band with the Bollinger Bands. This means usually breakout should come either to the upside or to the downside. The MACD is on an upturn. That's good. And the RSI is a little bit above 50%, so still in a very healthy zone. Our short-term indicator says there is a good chance that we move to $28,000. And here we come to our first cycle model. Well, we are about $5,600 under the predicted price. We are right in the middle of this box. Well, this box goes up until the end of the cycle, which will be April 17. And but we are still very much in this prediction. And in the second model, we are moving mainly on the base case, not on the upper case. But we only didn't went under the base case. That's a very good sign. In both cases, it looks like the price should be by the halving around about $43,000. All right, Fibonacci, we are right in the middle of a 50% zone. That's good. We have been quite a while ago for a short time in the red zone. There was a peak into the 38.2, but immediately we came back. That's good. 50 to 200 days. We had this death cross to the downside from the 50 days to the 200 days, which is pretty normal for the time being, because when you go back before 2020, 2019, before the halving. This was the same situation that we had golden crosses and daft crosses before the actual new bull run started. We come to the ribbons. Here we saw a strong move within the ribbons from the price. We have been heavily in the buy zone on 7, now we are only on 2. So this is more a time a little bit to take it easy and to wait and see. Finally, our logarithm regression model. Well, we move towards the end. Bitcoin moves in 4-year cycle. As you can see, in the middle always you have the top, as we had in this cycle as well. And now we are in the bottom zone. And well, we have to be patient for the next 6 months. Okay, so finally, our price prediction. I know you guys always are very interested in this. It hasn't changed, actually, because we believe from now in the next 6 months up until the halving, we will move in a range between 27, 28, 30. But the target, according to our different models, is still about $42,000. So I wish you a great weekend and all the best. Hopefully we see you next week. Thanks and bye-bye.